Hey yo, what's up everybody? Phrolova, a powerful Fractsidus overseer, a musical prodigy, a character whose story is filled with tragedy and pain all the way up until her death. But wait a minute, did she really even die? What if I told you that she isn't actually dead? And not in some wispy ethereal existence as a phantom inside of a Sonaro dream realm. I'm making the case here today that she is actually alive and well. But before we get into the what's, whys, and hows, let's take a trip back to her origin story, and then we'll circle back until how and why she's still alive. Without further ado, let's get it. So, what do we learn about Phrolova? Well, through the quest and her character stories, we learn that Phrolova is originally from a very small village named Ostina. It was a place of no grand significance, just a blip on the map, but it was the place she called home. It was where her friends, her loved ones, and her teachers were. She was absolutely adored by her village. Ostina is where she also found her talent, her first love, her first obsession, the music. She was already adept at multiple instruments and composing her own music when she was just a young child, and she would continue to just get better and better with ambitions of becoming a conductor, which wasn't all that surprising to some. Later in The Lost Beyond, we talk to Melissa, and she tells us that even from a young age, Phrolova always had this uncanny aura about her, this presence that exuded authority, and people just listened to her and respected her words. Melissa recounts that one time, a massive brawl broke out amongst older, rowdy kids, but when Phrolova spoke, they all listened to her without contest and stopped the fight with no problems. Phrolova was born to be a leader, born to be the conductor. Ostina's love for Phrolova wasn't just one-sided either. Phrolova loved her village too, and she was very helpful and generous towards its people, giving money to other aspiring musicians and lending out her old music textbooks filled with her own personal notes in the margins. Eventually, Phrolova developed her skills to the point where she was able to leave the village and go on tours to perform. And everyone in the village supported her musical talent. They all rooted for her success, even going as far as to purchase clothing for her performances to help her succeed. And there's something powerful about this connection, a whole village helping to raise a girl become something great. It makes what happened next hit even harder. One day, as she arrives back in Ostina, after just having performed, people are happy to see her. They're greeting her with smiles on their faces, and they're just showing love, man. When suddenly, something emerged. Something that had been hurling through the cosmos for who knows how long. It was a huge meteor appearing out of a seemingly clear sky. And man, it completely levels the entire village. In an instant, everyone she grew up with, knew, and loved was gone. As her village lay in ruins, Phrolova was not unscathed. As she lay dying, she undergoes her resonance awakening, reconstructing her body and blessing her with a unique ability. But for someone like her, maybe that ability was more of a curse. Her resonance awakening reconstructed her skin, reassembled her frequency, and restored her internal organs. Now, as for her town, she was the one who received their gifts. And now she is the one who must bury their remains. I'm sure you all know by now that everything in Solaris 3 is constructed from frequencies. Phrolova captured the frequencies of those from her village and reconstructed those people and the village into a Sonaro sphere she calls the Lost Beyond. She's recorded to be holding well over 1,000 frequencies within her. Are all these frequencies people from her town? That is unclear. We don't actually know how big or small her town was, but even if just a fraction are, that's still hundreds of souls echoing within her all at the same time. People that she personally has history with. That's heavy, bruh. The responsibility of the literal life of all those frequencies. And the people in her realm depend on her. They also genuinely appreciate the sacrifice she made and are empathetic to the strain it takes on her. Some people in the village are growing impatient though. One man bombards us with questions about progress when he thinks we're a scientist visiting the realm. Another guy sits and waits at the exit of town, asking when can he go out. Maintaining the morale and emotional stability of the people must always be on her mind. Naturally caring and maintaining for this realm became her second obsession. At the time Rover meets Phrolova, she just concluded her performance on stage. She tells us that the venue she's performing in was built on top of a place where her village once stood. We find that this village existed a long time ago. She even refers to it as an ancient town. But how could this be? I mean, Phrolova looks like any young woman, albeit with gray hair and red eyes. Well, her resonance awakening didn't just resurrect her that day. It granted her something more. Her physical form doesn't age, effectively making her immune to the passage of time. However, across time, her obsession with resurrecting those in the lost beyond would not fade, even as a Fractsidus overseer. In the Scarlet Hall of the Fractsidus base, her Lycoris flag waves as one of the longest standing, which is apparently quite rare, as overseers are usually known to come and go, like the shadows. But Phrolova was different. One place that always seemed to draw her gaze was the Fractsidus laboratory. She found herself enamored with experiments involving tacit discord parts fused with humans, or advancements in overclocking technology. She watched the burning desire in the scientists as they sought evolution and heard the lament in their failure. Emotions she knew too well, as she carefully studied each experiment, hoping for some breakthrough she could use to finally bring those frequencies from the lost beyond into the real world. This obsession would lead to her not only observing experiments, but also offering herself up as the subject of experimentation. And these experiments were only possible because she's a resonator. But not just a resonator, one with an uncanny ability to recover. Which brings me to the main point. So how is Phrolova still alive? Remember when we talked about her village being destroyed? Remember when we talked about her not aging? About her reconstructing her body? Well, all of that is very relevant. Maybe you thought that was just a one-time thing, but I'm here to say that that just isn't so. That's right. She can regenerate at any time. According to Phrolova's Forte examination report, in addition to her anti-aging abilities, when Phrolova's body is in a healthy state, skin reconstruction and frequency reassembly takes approximately 6 seconds, while internal organ restoration requires 15 to 18 minutes. Now, I'm sure there is someone out there who's going to watch this video and they're going to be using a magnifying glass, looking at the fine print and noticing that it says when Phrolova's body is in a healthy state. These things are possible. And in Chapter 2, Act 7, when we first encounter Phrolova, she is injured. Or rather, she's exhausted. She overexerted herself sealing the Drenodian's power crystal within the Lost Beyond. And at this point, she was overclocking for several consecutive days. And while this isn't a physical injury, and also, by the way, I don't believe this is a requirement for her ability, but this is a thought experiment to rule out the possibility that she wasn't able to heal during that time. Again, we don't know if this is a stipulation or not, but what we do know is as the quest continues to progress, Phrolova heals from this ailment. to the point where Rover questions if the collaboration between them will break down because she is no longer reliant on them. By the time they face off at the end of the quest, she's fully recovered. So even taking the possibility that she can only heal while doing so from a previously full-strength situation in this circumstance, she still would be in a position where she could fully recover. Which, by the way, I think is an odd stipulation if it were to be true. Like, imagine if you could only heal if you were already at 100% HP. Like, how useful would that be? Anyway, the Resonance Examination report goes on to say, no fatal weaknesses have been found as of the writing of this examination report. So she is immortal in the truest sense, not just immune to the passage of time, but also to physical damage. So Phrolova's apparent demise and ability to return is totally under her control. She can come back whenever she wants. Because she can now devote all her time and energy to the Lost Beyond, it's probably more stable than it's been in a long time. So what exactly is Phrolova doing right now? Why didn't she just pop back up out of the water? Well, she's likely maintaining the realm, and she's also probably just shocked that Rover had the audacity to stab her in the chest like that after everything. Like, damn. She is never going to trust a single soul again. Even if the outcome was the same, Rover could have handled that situation so differently. Like, geez, man.
Why is our world like this?
Anyways, I know there were many people who were praising the story because she did die, adding weight and consequences to the actions of the main character. So, yeah, I hate to ruin that for you. And for those who were wishing that she was alive, well, I guess I added some cheer to your life. But anyway, that is all I wanted to say. Oh, also, please like and subscribe, especially if you're a returning viewer. Come on, man. I've been waiting long enough for you to hit those like and subscribe buttons.
I waited for a long time. I won't wait anymore.
Anyways, that is all I have for you guys today. And until next time, I'll catch you in the waves. Peace.